Okay. Here we go. Heading home from the film discussion. I mean, it means a lot to me that we can keep this high quality, and I feel like I just don't know how we're gonna do that. I guess I'm afraid to even turn on the camera sometimes. It's a full moon almost, huh? Tomorrow night, maybe. So is this the entrance to the...
No.
I think so. Up and away. It's really scary driving, you know, Timothy. If you start driving again, it's really scary. The first 2 years of driving were hard for me. When I couldn't drive. I was so stressed in my life over so many things a couple years ago that I didn't use my driver's license, and it was really terrifying when I first started driving. And I feel like the ironic thing is with this film project, I don't feel terribly terrified driving. I just feel like, because I want you to be in charge, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna like accept whatever you want, and maybe later in my life I can try to do something else. But it's kind of fun to do. That's another thing I feel like that a lesson that maybe you haven't learned in life is that being in control of a project isn't necessarily everything. And when you work with New Yorkers, one thing that you realize is that a lot of New Yorkers like to let other people be in charge of things. And maybe there's a lesson there for you to learn about your own film project. Because the illusion is that New York is in charge when they're actually not. And that's a kind of skill that you can learn in New York that I think you can't really learn in other cities. Because in a lot of ways, New York is in charge. A friend of mine kind of taught me about this whole concept. He tries to work a lot with the United Nations and kind of some interesting kind of international relations projects. And I think that's one of the big lessons, like, I don't know. But I just hope this film goes good. I don't know when we're going to start is the whole problem. I feel like, when do we start? When does it become like the real film that you want to do? Or that God wants to do? I always get confused which direction I'm going when I drive up this Lewiston grade. I feel like there's like certain secrets in life where we have no concept of where we're going. Do you want to get your kids involved at all with this?
No.
Why? Or how?
They're busy. They don't care about it.
I think with like the later projects, if you want to do later projects, maybe that would make sense. least talk with them. Looks like we're gonna get the last bit of the sunset. Should I shut off the camera? Pretty expensive trip. Cost us almost like $100 just to drive there and back. I think we gotta kind of understand like why and how people spend their money. From what I saw, if we're gonna make money on the film, that we need to contact like real estate agents and things like that. Because most of the, I mean, I feel like if your film can change anything, if it can change kind of the quality of the environment, that would be great. You're not mad at me, are you?
No, I'm just listening to you.
Okay.
I don't know why you want to get a hold of real estate agents
Well,
to work on the film.
I feel like when you look at the expenditures for what people spend every month, I was looking at some data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and to try to see like how people are spending their money. Housing is basically the big factor. So if we're trying to make money from your film, maybe the genre of the film needs to like, I don't know. I just don't know how we're gonna pull this off. Looks like an airplane landing. This is my favorite part of Idaho, actually.
Right here?
Was until your film project started. This was like my first drive. I was like through the hills here. I was really scared when I first landed in Spokane. When I first came out here to Idaho, I was like, my brother picked me up and we drove south from Spokane across the Palouse, and I was like, I've never seen it so much wilderness. I was just like, what? I thought it was like some kind of like secret society. And I was like totally convinced. I was like, what's going on? This is crazy. But I'm really thankful for your project. I hope we can make some progress. I just feel like you're never happy with anything, really. I think that's the biggest priority now, is just to make sure that you're happy with what the outcome is. I wonder if there's going to be deer out at this time of night, just before bedtime. Quarter lane, 100 miles.
Are you going 80?
right speed?
If you're going 80, you're speeding. And the cops around here are very bored. What do you do? Go 100.
We'll be okay.
What did I tell you?
It's probably the truck. A lot of these trucks have a radar.